I see a lot of chatters in here that are actively trying to not watch this video and shift my attention away to something different. And I suspect it's because a lot of you are worried that you are going to immediately nut with the uncontrollable sexual aura that is emanating from Hakeem Jeffries. And I know you're afraid. Your bussies and your pussies and your penises and your gawks, they're quivering. You're worried. You're about to bust. And it's fine. Hakeem the Dream Jeffries is here. Keep your mouth shut. Dem leader, House Republicans go nose to nose in hallway spat. I did see this video and I did think it was aura. Like a little bit. I like that. I like what Hakeem is doing here.
Let me ask you a question. Did you get permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss Donald Trump?
You can easily extend the ACA
Did your
right
boss
now.
Donald Trump
He's
give
not
you
my
permission?
boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. And by the way,
so let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to
Let me
shut
ask
the
you a
government
question.
down? Why did you vote to shut it down?
Let me ask you a question.
For years, you always lectured about how we need to keep the government open.
You're making a show of this to make yourself relevant.
It's sad. You could easily sign on to this.
You're embarrassing yourself right now.
You could sign on to this. The only
You're
embarrassment here is
clout. You're an embarrassment.
You could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on here. Why won't you sign on?
Let me ask you a question.
It's a clean extension for 1 year.
You voted for the one big ugly bill, correct?
I voted for a tax cut bill that gave the largest tax cut to Americans in history, including, by the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
yourself right now. Do you want to
now.
cut the standard deduction in
The
half?
largest
Is that what
cut
you
to
wanted to do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
rooted
history.
out
You
waste,
voted for that.
fraud, and abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New York,
Let me ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2
If
billion
you're gonna-
were wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me.
Wasted
You're not going to talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm
So
listening.
why
Go
don't you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
showed up. You showed up.
Yeah.
And so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on
bill.
for this. You can extend it
A
right now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire donors.
So 90% of
So
Americans.
they can get a permanent extension.
90% of
But
Americans
working
take the
class
standard
Americans
deduction.
can't? Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction.
Is that
right?
right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That
No
would have been a
one-
massive tax increase
no
on
one-
Americans all across the country.
You're
You support
here,
that?
unfortunately.
You're against
to do
lifting the cap on
bidding
salt?
Of your billionaire donors.
The
That's
billionaire
unfortunate.
donors lifting the
That's
cap on
correct.
salt. We put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
An income
Where the
cap.
re- where the rest
didn't
of
you
your
want all
Republican
Republicans
colleagues?
to be here?
Where
I'm
the rest,
here.
Where are the rest of your Republican
You wanted
colleagues?
Republicans to be here. I'm here.
Why are you
And
here?
by the way,
What?
you can
What?
pass an ACA extension right now. Sign
your
on to this
boss-
bill.
Did your boss
Sign
Donald
on
Trump-
to the bill.
Is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
HR 5145. Why don't you get on it?
Mike, is your boss Donald Trump behind that?
Why won't you get on it?
Because you don't work for the American people.
Oh, I do. I
You
work
don't
for the people of New
the
York.
17th
I work for the
district.
people of my district.
Is that why you? Is that
I'm
why
here.
You got 140.
And by the way, I voted for a clean CR to keep the government open
Mike,
and funded.
you're-
You voted to shut it
You're
down.
embarrassing yourself right now.
Yeah, leader, with all due
Well, as we
respect,
would say
you're
back
the
in the-
one.
why are you playing yourself?
You're the one
Why are you
who
playing
actually
yourself with
voted
these
to shut
theatrics?
the government down.
Actually, you
It's
know
sad.
that's not true.
It's sad. You voted to shut the government
Listen,
down.
Do Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the President?
Right, and
correct?
you're smart enough to know
Is
that
that
you
right?
need 60 votes in the Senate,
Is
right?
that right? No.
Do you need 60 votes in the
Were
Senate or no?
60 votes needed to pass your one big ugly bill?
Reconciliation, which you
Was
did with
60
the IRA,
was
and
60
boy, that really reduced inflation.
Are you
did a
trying to
great job
elevate
there.
yourself because you're afraid
I'm not
you're
trying to
about lose
elevate myself.
re-election?
No, I'm not going to lose
ask you a
re-election.
question.
You spent $42 million last cycle.
Mike,
You didn't do
Mike,
that
let me
great.
ask you a question. Why aren't you running for governor right now?
Because I actually enjoy this job, and I'm here to do
You
it. And
enjoy-
by the way,
you enjoy-
by the way,
you
you could
enjoy
actually
embarrassing
pass.
yourself?
You could actually pass
You enjoy being a lackey for
subsidy
Donald
right
Trump?
now
Is that
to
right?
ensure that people don't have health care premiums going up. Why won't you support this one-year bill?
Let me ask you a question.
Tom Swazi's on it. Jared Golden.
Let me ask you a question.
We found it. We found the one guy that literally is even nerdier and more Rizless than Hakeem Jeffries, that Hakeem Jeffries actually looks good standing next to him and actually yelling at him. It turns out this is what was necessary. When you see him on his own, okay? Luckily, by the way, this time I was literally unbuttoning my own shirt, that I'm not like, zapping Kaya to go sit in her bed that she normally goes and lays down on, for the record. Thank God my hands are, idiots. I must have been hitting the button with my dick. That's what I was doing. Okay, dude, now you're stretching it.
Losing
Let me ask
Camp
you a question.
Perez.
Let me ask
Are
you a
they
question.
wrong?
Your
Don
other
Davis?
boss,
Are they wrong?
Your other boss, Mike Johnson. I challenged him to a debate.
Yeah.
On the floor. Did he send you?
No, I'm here
On
on
his
my
behalf,
behalf
'cause
of
he's
my
afraid to defend.
constituents,
Is
because
that
you
right?
shut the government down. And my constituents are suffering as a result of your ridiculous ploy, because you're so afraid of Zoran Mandami. By the way, when are you endorsing him?
By the way,
do you endorse him for mayor?
First of all, are you
Ooh, okay, that's a point. That's a point for Lawler. Okay, point Lawler.
Listen, you're a complete and total embarrassment right now.
Oh, why is that? Because you don't want to answer the question?
Is this supposed to be a video for your failed
You don't want
re-election?
to. You don't want to answer the question. Do you support Zoran? By the way, did you see his statement yesterday?
Listen.
An embarrassment on October 7th, blaming the Jews. You support that? Should he be the?
Oh no. I didn't see this full video. I saw a short version where he looked like he had aura. How is he pro Zoran but pro Israel? He's not. You think he's pro Zoran or pro Israel? Both of these guys are pro Israel stooges, okay?
Democratic nominee for mayor.
First of all, I don't answer to you. You
Should
don't
he be
even
the Democratic
answer to
mayor?
yourself.
Should he be the
You don't
Democratic
even-
nominee
I'll
for
answer
mayor?
whatever questions I need to answer about
Okay,
the
so
mayor's
you think
race,
his
about
statement
the Ameri-
yesterday was okay?
First of all,
All right. That's sad.
First of all,
It's unfortunate.
don't come with this phony
These are bills.
bill. No.
These
no,
are
no.
bills. They're not phony.
It's
They're
not
real
a bill
bills.
that Republicans are even prepared to bring
There's
to the floor.
There's 11 Republicans on it. There's 4 Democrats. It's a bipartisan bill to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies. If you believe in
Bro,
it so
do you
so
understand
much,
math?
why won't you sign on
Do
to
you
it?
understand math?
You could get your whole conference to
You
sign
have
on today.
220
Your whole conference could sign on to
There
this.
are 220 Republicans
Right.
in the House right now.
You have
You come to a
215
bill with me
Democrats.
with 11?
You have 215
Is that right?
Democrats. Well, how many votes does it take in the House?
Are you-
218.
Are you mathematically challenged, bro?
No, I think you are. You have 215 Democrats. You could all sign on to this today
Do me a
with
favor.
11 Republicans.
Do
It'd
me
be
a
great.
favor.
It'd be
I've
great.
indulged you. I've given you your 15
You
minutes of
haven't
fame.
answered any of the questions.
You're a
but sure.
complete and total embarrassment.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing yourself in your district right now, and you're going down to defeat
Oh,
next
I know.
year.
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, Speaker. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Ruben Gallego, Mark Kelly confront Speaker Johnson, intense exchange. They should be allowed to fight. I mean, you know my advocacy in this field, okay? I have been a major advocate. Lawler, $392,669 from AIPAC versus Jeffries, $866,550 from AIPAC. God damn. I think Congress would be better. This shit is so fake. This is exactly why Zoran's statement was such a failure. I don't think it was as big as a failure. But this is the reason why there's no reason not to include like additional context, even when talking about October 7th, because like these guys are never going to, these guys' position against you is that you're anti-genocide and you're anti-Zionist, right? So it's not like any kind of like October 7 was a horrifying incident that, you know, sparked some kind of reaction from Israel, but the reaction went a little too hard. Like that kind of omission of like what came prior to October 7 makes it seem as though, Israel's reaction was to a certain degree warranted, but obviously like how they reacted was a little too far. Right? How they reacted was a little too far. And that in and of itself is a concession that you don't need to even remotely imply, because these guys are never going to, ever in a million years going to give you, they're never going to sit there and say, well, at least his like response was timid. His response was like moderated. He mentioned October 7. Like no one's going to say that. Yeah. Attempting to concoct a statement that everybody will be satisfied by is a losing game, and Zoran's team needs to stop these increasing attempts to chase after it. Like the Israel Foreign Ministry straight up came out and we're like, this is, you're crazy. He stands with Jews only when they're dead. Shameful. Randy Fine literally came out and was like, we need to deport this man or something. Like he was just going crazy. Yeah. But I guess in that regard, people were too busy hating on Zoran to notice that neither AOC, Ilhan Omar, nor Tlaib released an October 7th statement at all, Lamau. Private Oomph just pointed out that neither did Jeffries. Those AIPAC checks must be declining. Yeah, he just tanked it. He just tanked it for him. Him and Grant Plattner both were like, don't worry, guys, get behind me. Get behind me. I'll say some shit that makes everybody mad. Okay? Randy Fine probably wants to eat Zoran. True. He really does. He wants to eat everything, really. Yeah, like I don't care that much that Zoran said it, but it's honestly better just to say nothing. I mean, sure. Let's see what Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly said.
Hey, so here's Congresswoman. And
so many cameras, bro. This reminds me of, this is like, you know what this is? This is like going to a phase pool party. That's what it feels like to me. These are all, this is like when influencers, myself included, go to like a phase pool party or TwitchCon or something. And there's cameras everywhere. And we're just like trying to find some aura moments. Okay. This is, hey, I'm going to walk up to the speaker. Oh, that's funny. They're clip farming.
Yeah, reopen the government so we get back to work.
I mean, but this excuse just keeps on moving.
Yeah,
no, it's not great if you want
I
representation.
want to see something crazy. You know what I mean? I want to see him like slap Mike Johnson or something. I want some real motion. Okay. I want something real. I want to feel like they're real. Don't say that. Okay. Like I just calling for political violence, like not like a serious violence slap. I mean, like a little, like one of these, you know, I want some real wrestling, man. Real wrestling. Why isn't there some real wrestling? If it's WWE, might as well just go into it.
There's 750.
Wait, let me answer the question. We're happy that she got elected. She's filling her father's seat. That's fantastic. We have a long tradition here and a process of how we administer the oath to a member. You know, you served here for a while. We're going to do that as soon as we get back to work, but we need the lights turned back on, so we encourage both of you to go open the government so we can get everybody back to regular session.
Republican swore the person in
No,
under safe circumstance.
the exception is there were 2 Floridians who were elected in a special election that's happened a couple months back. They were here on a day, they had their families here, they had a scheduled day for the oath of office, and the House was called out of session that day. They had all their family and friends here, so we went ahead and went through the process in a pro forma.
With all due
Let me
respect,
finish. Wait, let me answer the question if you're going to ask it. And so that was the exception we did because the family was here. Ms. Grijalva, Rep-elect Grijalva, has not yet had a scheduled date because she was elected after the House was out of session. So I am anxious to administer the oath to her as soon as you guys vote to open the government.
You don't want to be on the Epstein discharge. How much?
It's totally absurd. You guys are experts at red herrings and distraction. No, it has nothing to do with Epstein. The House Oversight Committee is working on the Epstein files right now, releasing 34,000 pages and more on the way.
You know, she's
Let me finish. The House Oversight Committee.
Come up with excuses. This is an excuse, so she doesn't sign on to that.
This is absurd.
This is the longest time the House.
Do you want me to answer the question? If you ask the question, let me answer.
Actually answer the question. This entirely has to do with the
Okay,
Epstein
you see, this is a publicity stunt. Let me tell you what's happening. The House Oversight Committee is working on the release of the Epstein files. There are some of the biggest bulldogs in Congress in the Republican and Democrat side who are working on that aggressively. I met with the victims before they went out and did the press conference, and the House Oversight is doing its job. Did you know, you might not, because we haven't been in session, the House Oversight has its lawyers in New York City combing through the Epstein estate files. None of that had been anticipated by discharge petitions or anything else. They have subpoenas that are being supplied, they're being followed through on by the Department of Justice. We have more subpoenas that are outstanding for big name persons, Democrats and Republicans, and there are more documents coming through. They're doing the work, they're doing it methodically, they're doing it with subpoena power, and you don't need an act of Congress for that to happen because they're already on it.
So
and I was in the room with all of them.
Why are you blocking her then?
I'm not blocking her, I just
This
told
is
you.
the longest time that House Oversight has been out of session. That's not in a regular August session. This is the longest time it's taken for someone to be sworn in, and it all happens to coincide with the fact that she's going to be the deciding vote on the discharge petition.
I know why you're upset.
Mike,
you get a lot of heat because the government is closed down and you guys
we're
made
not.
the decision.
Actually, no.
You made it 5 times
Mike,
to
I
keep
got
the
a
government
request.
closed.
I got a request.
Yes.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you bring back your Republican members so we can have a serious negotiation with
We're
them
going to have plenty of
about this?
negotiations as
Well,
soon as you open the government.
Why don't we
Let me
bring
tell you why
back-
they're not here, because the House
I
did
mean,
its job.
14 days since July 25th.
Yeah, and real people are
They've been
feeling
on
real
it,
pain.
And they've been on an extended summer
If I
vacation.
feel the pain with
They're not on
So you bring
vacation.
them back.
Wait a minute,
I have
wait
an
a minute.
opportunity. I
Hey,
can talk
just-
to every one of my Republican colleagues down there, and we're talking about
Every
this
day
all
we're
the
talking
time.
Yeah, and they're talking about it over here as well.
And
keep
our
your members
Republican
sitting.
members from Arizona, where are they?
They're in their
Arizona.
district. They're in their districts
They're
working.
They're sitting.
Wait a minute.
They're sitting.
Oh, hey, Mike
They
Lawler.
did their job.
They did
They
their
are
job.
sitting in their basements.
Come here, Mike Lawler from New York. Tell
With
them.
all due respect, you voted multiple times to keep the government shut down, okay? The Republican members from Arizona voted to keep the government open.
They did.
So don't sit here and try to lecture us about whether or not we did our job. We did our job. You did not.
What's going to be
Well, you're not doing
premiums?
your
What
job
happens when you see
right
premiums?
Oh, you mean the bill that I'm signed on to extend it?
Oh, they're like that. This guy is everywhere, huh? Mike Lawler really having a grand old time out here. He's over. He's everywhere, baby. Someone in the chat said WWE earlier, and yeah, this literally reads as one of those backstage confrontations they have in between matches. Yeah, it is. When did Veritasium go Republican? Yeah, he is. He's a Republican now. He might be vying for the Trump replacement. It's kind of an open field. People don't like Vance. Obviously, Mike Johnson is a hog, but do you think the Dems are overblowing this thing about delaying her swearing in because of the Epstein files process? I don't think so. I think they're just trying to be annoying. I'm sure that's part of the reason. You know what I mean? I don't think they're blowing their load on anything, really. I think they've done a pretty decent job. They should talk about like how much money is not being paid to government employees like every single day. You know what I mean? Every single day that this moves forward, they should be constantly talking about Project 2025 and how Trump has openly stated that like Russ Vought is going to be the Reaper. They should be talking about healthcare and how many people are going to lose healthcare, or at least their like premiums are going to go up by how much. Every day they should be talking about that. Every damn day. Do shutdowns usually last this long? Government shutdowns can last even longer than this. I believe like the longest one in recent years was 35 days or something. Yeah, like in 2019, it was 35 days, the last one. I keep getting confused. Why does Mike keep saying it's the Dems that whatever who are keeping the government shut down is just smoke and mirrors or what? Because that can't be true, right? No, there is truth to that statement, but it takes two to tango. They can't get like they can't get 10 votes beyond the Republicans in the Senate in order to advance this what they call clean funding bill, right? But the reason why the Democrats are pushing for the shutdown is because they want the Republicans to meet their demands. They want the Republicans to meet their demands on protecting people's Medicaid, to ensure that like COVID era provision that offers subsidies that help people pay their healthcare premiums do not go away. And they want assurances on the administration not using expanded executive authority to override previous congressional funds that have been allocated, right?